Welcome to Friends and Fiction. 4 New York Times bestselling authors, endless stories. Novelists Mary Kay Andrews, Kristin Harmel, Kristy Woodson Harvey, and Patti Callahan Henry are 4 longtime friends with more than 70 published books between them. Together, they host Friends and Fiction, with author interviews and fascinating insider talk about publishing and writing, to highlight and support independent bookstores. They discuss the books they've written, the books they're reading now, and the art of storytelling. If you love books and you're curious about the writing world, you're in the right place.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Friends and Fiction Show. I'm Ron Block.
I'm Patti Callahan Henry.
And this is Friends and Fiction, 4 New York Times bestselling authors, endless stories to support indie bookstores, authors, and librarians.
So, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, let me tell you about it. It is now almost 300,000 members strong.
Yes.
290 to be exact, which is over 250,000. We'd also like to invite you to follow us on Instagram and YouTube and to subscribe to our newsletter, which is on Substack, which is full of incredible content. Yeah. But instead of memorizing all that, you can find out more about this incredible community on our website, which is friendsandfiction.com.
Yes. And sometimes we have a guest on that we know is just going to be a blast and we're going to love. We already love them. So on this episode, we are so excited to welcome our dear friend, Victoria Benton Frank, to discuss her new novel, The Violet Hour, which was just released on August 12th. Okay, we're going to give you a little bit of background on Victoria. She was born in New York City and raised in Montclair, New Jersey, but she considers herself to have dual residency in the Low Country.
Now, Victoria is a graduate of the College of Charleston and the French Culinary Institute. She's R the bear. Victoria worked in restaurants in New York before returning to Charleston, South Carolina, which she considers home, with her husband, 2 kids, and pup. She is the daughter of my beloved author pal who passed 6 years ago now, Dorothea Benton Frank.
Yeah, gosh, she loved her. When Victoria's not writing, she's reading, cooking, playing mahjong, or chasing her children, which if you follow her on Instagram or Facebook, it's a blast. It's just, you can see everything she's going through. It's hilarious. The new novel, The Violet Hour, which we said was just released on August 12th. It's a heartwarming and empowering story about thriving after tragedy. Alan, can you bring her on? Let's go.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much. I love y'all.
We love you too. Right back. Okay, so we're, as you know, we're so happy to have you here on the Friends and Fiction Show. Let's get right into it, though. The Violet Hour is a heartwarming story that we said of a young woman at a crossroads in her life trying to reinvent herself and pull her life together after trauma while dealing with her beloved and sometimes infuriating family. What would you add to that? And in true Friends and Fiction style, what's the book really about?
Okay, so first of all, this question haunts me now because I think and because I'm such a baby author, I don't really know until I'm writing it. And I think that with this book in particular, I had an idea of what I was going to write about. And then other things happened in my life which wove through it. So I think what this book is really about is dealing with sort of unprecedented grief and unpredictable grief and things that you don't think are going to happen to you and finding out who you are as a woman within the new reality that you're dealt with. So I think it's about reshaping your life.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is such a good description. I would have gone on and on for half an hour because there's so many layers in this book.
Thank you.
That is the heart of it. Heart of it,
and so many characters are going through it too. There's a lot of people doing that same work.
Well, we're all, I think that's also being 39 and about to be 40 and having 2 children and whatever you have, even in my own life, which is in the book and isn't in the book. I'm constantly reshaping myself. We all are. We're all adjusting to new realities. So
yes,
and if we're not changing and reshaping, Victoria, we're not living.
That's right. That's right. For sure.
Well, there's so much to talk about in the book, and
Yes.
we are going to get into it. But for a minute or two or three, I want to talk about your career. So you went to culinary school.
Mhm.
You wrote a children's book with your mom,
Mhm.
and then you decided to write a novel, your first novel. This is your sophomore novel, your second novel.
Yes.
So can you give us some history behind moving from culinary school to a children's book to writing this novel and how we are here today in 2025?
God, I think the only way I can do it is looking back and piecing it together. But I think I
Exactly.
was always meant to be a writer. And I've said this before, and I really believe it, that I think storytellers are all artists and we're all just sort of playing with different mediums until we find the one that sticks. I was a dancer first and an actress, and then I became a chef, and then I became a writer. So
Yeah.
it was really just like reincarnations of connecting with people through storytelling. So I started at culinary school after I was in New York, and the recession happened, and I got laid off. I was working commercial real estate, which miserable. Yeah, I cried every day, and like tears were freezing to my face. I was like, this is comical. It's so bad. So, and I would call my mom and tell her, she's like, you should really be writing this. Like, you shouldn't be like just calling me on the phone, like write it. And I was like, yeah. And I sort of just felt like my mom, it's like being a daughter of like Madonna. So like she probably told her daughter, you should sing, you'd be so good at this. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, Mom, it was a miracle. Your career was a miracle. That could never happen for me too. Like, don't ask me to do that. That's like, I can't fill those Manolo Blahniks. Like those are some expensive shoes. And then I went cooking, and it was great. I met my husband in culinary school, and I worked at some incredible restaurants in New York City and here in Charleston, and I loved it. But it was just what I really wanted was a family, and I didn't feel like I could do both. So my husband stayed in the chef world. I lived vicariously through him, and then I wrote my book, which I started when my mother was alive, and her dying words to me were, finish your book. And so I did. And so then I got really, really lucky. I got her editor and her agent, and everyone embraced me. And I was just adopted into this like coven of incredible people. And I was really lucky. I mean, like, people ask me all the time, like, how do you get your book published? I'm like, I don't know. 'Cause I had such a weird way of going about it. But thank God it didn't suck.
Well, the way you get your book published is you write it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which you did. You didn't just get lucky, Victoria Frank.
I know.
You wrote it, you edited it, you worked hard on it, and you made some really great decisions. And now we're here with your sophomore work. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. And like I always say, your mom knew. Mm-hmm. And also, if you didn't have the goods behind it, you wouldn't have been able to get through the door. No. So
that's true. I always tell people that I got doors open for me because of who my mother was, but I had to walk through them, and no one gives you anything for free in New York. That's for sure. So
that's absolutely true. So one of the best parts of the book is, of course, the low country setting, which we all adore. Yeah. It's evocative and sultry. And I know that you live there, but like your mom, you bring it alive is so that we like taste the salt air and we feel the humid touch of summer. Yeah. Do you consciously spend time on this, influenced by your own life, or is that part of your natural writing?
You mean with setting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bringing it all to life for us.
I think whenever I'm describing a scene, when I want someone to feel like they're in it, I have to explain what it feels like first. And I think the dialogue is secondary. I think your main protagonist, or at least in my books, are setting. So setting to me is like the weather and the smells and the flora and fauna, like that all matters. It creates this mood that is, you can't write it. I mean, I write it out, but you can't, it doesn't have a dialogue. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of explain how it feels first. Right. It's kind of like, it's funny. Like I write about sex for the first time, like pretty much in the second book, a lot more than the first. And my editor was like, this is really good. And I'm like, oh, why? And it's because you have to explain to the reader what it feels like. It's not just having like two hot people make out. You have to be like, it feels good. It's the same thing with setting. It's so sensual.
That it was.
Well,
No.
I always say that I want my settings, like you said, to be a character, to be a protagonist,
Yeah.
Yes.
but also I want them to be so important that if I took the book out of that setting, it would not be that story.
Yes.
And you've done exactly that,
Thank
right?
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Agreed.
could not take this story and put it in another setting and have it be this story.
Right.
It couldn't happen in anywhere
Couldn't be
south.
New England. Yeah.
Right.
It couldn't be
Or
Midwest.
even if it was, it would be a great story. It would just be a completely different story.
Yep. And it's the unspoken, it's the stuff that you leave unsaid with description, I think, that makes the art real for the reader. Like I don't have to be so ham-handed. I don't want to be like, it's
Right.
98 degrees outside. I want to be like, it's so hot that you can't breathe,
Right.
And so people are like, oh yeah, I know what that feels like.
We know what
Yeah.
that feels. Well, it feels like
Air
that today in
conditioning.
Alabama. So
It's
thank you.
108 degrees here today. We have a heat advisory. It's like,
I
Oh,
woke up to the heat
great.
advisory on my phone. I was like, can somebody take me to Cape Cod or
Yeah.
Nantucket or
Yeah.
Martha's Vineyard?
It's
Yeah.
not that
somewhere?
much better up north. Let me tell you, it's not much
Woof.
better.
Oh God, then take me to Ireland. I don't care.
There you
I'll
go.
go with you.
Anyway, in this novel, you include so much of modern day life that we all struggle with: social media, friendships, love, sex. One character is struggling with taking over her mom's social media empire. And of course, she is also struggling with incredible amounts of grief,
Yeah.
which begs the question that we only touched on at the beginning, which is how much of your life do you think ekes its way into the pages consciously and unconsciously? Let's talk about that. There's this way in which all of our lives are alchemized into story, but there are some very obvious things in this: losing a mother, social media empire. Tell me about using, or not using, incorporating some of those very real things.
Yeah.
Well, the character of Allie wasn't even intended to be in the book at all, and she showed up because I think I needed to process living grief and past grief, and she was a great vessel for me to do that with. I think for me, like, I always think about my mother when I sat down to write a book, and she says, "Go into the deepest part of your heart and pull from there and write what you know." So the blistering, brutal pain of trying to take on your mom's job and live for her and legacy and, trying to be a woman, all those things without a mother figure, was something I needed to process. And I think you write what you know. I mean, they say don't make your books therapy, but this book was definitely therapy for me. And in a lot of ways, I think I told you, I was like, I hate it because I had to couldn't look at it. It was so personal to me. But now I love it because it sort of is a thumbprint of that chapter of my life, which I'm still working through. I think I always will be. But it's interesting because my mother's second book was about losing her mother. And so my second book was about losing mine.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I didn't even intentionally do that. It just sort of happened. But
so when you're doing it, so there's times when I'll look back and see something of my life in the novel, something I was thinking about, something I was feeling, but I wasn't always aware when I was actually writing the scene. Were you usually aware when you were writing the scene that you were sort of tapping into the things that matter the most to you?
No.
See, sometimes it's only in looking back, right?
Yeah, it's in looking back and in the editing process where I was like, oh, I literally, like, I even went to my dad at one point, was like, this might hurt you a little bit. Like,
I didn't mean to.
I didn't mean to. It wasn't about, there was no intention. It's you write what's real to you. And for me, I'm so aware of my audience. I know that sounds like, but like, I'm so aware of it because I'm so personally connected to them that, like, I want to be authentic. And if I wrote science fiction, I don't think I could do that. I mean, maybe I could. Maybe I'd make an alien who lost her mother on a planet Mars or something.
Please don't do that. Don't do that.
No. Let's stay on Sullivan's Island. But I think it's important to sort of to be authentic. So yeah, on some level, I was like, I'm going to write about this. I'm going to go there.
Okay.
I didn't know what would come out once I knocked at the door, if that makes sense.
I mean, I think the best writing is when we when we go to the places that matter and don't skim on the surface. So
Yeah, you got to go deep.
bravo, girl. Bravo.
Is it like a zone you go into and just kind of do your thing and then look back later? I love that.
Yeah, I literally sometimes think it's magic. Like when I really get into it. So, personal note, my husband and I are restructuring our family right now, which has been kind of different. He's going to stay home for a while, which is kind of cool. And so I can focus on writing, which
wow.
So
that's awesome.
I'm really excited about that, mainly for my kids. Like, it's going to be so nice to like have a dad, because he's been like in the depths of the kitchen, and all that man wants to do is like, you know, bust out the flat top and make burgers at the football games. And so I'm like, let him do it. And so I go into my office, I shut the door, I put on my headphones, I have my music, which is always ambient music. I light a candle, and then I take 3 deep breaths, and I'm like, okay, show up. And then I just go for it. But I can't do that if I've got like 90 other things going on. So for me, it does become a bit of a conjuring.
That's
I don't know.
amazing.
Yeah, that's when it comes to me, when I have to listen to water, which I think is kind of
interesting.
Mm-hmm. I listen to underwater, like whales sometimes, but sometimes just the sound of being underwater makes me like, it shuts off the and lets me just,
Yeah,
Adrienne Brodeur listens to whale music.
Oh, she does? Oh,
yeah.
That's cool.
Well, she was writing about a whale, but
mine is writing about nothing. Yeah.
I listen to ambient music too. I can't listen to, we had a whole text string, you and I, the other day about Billy Joel. Like I can't, I know, but I can't listen to Billy Joel and write a book.
But I can listen to Billy Joel and get inspired about a mood.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
but not while I'm actually writing.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And I want to read the thing you wrote on Substack after you watch that's like on my to-do list. But Billy Joel is a really good example of someone who goes really deep and goes to the heart bruises and presses them, you know, and then
that's why I was asking about it, because that's what my essay was about, was this idea. I was spending all this time thinking about, why do I love him so much?
Yeah.
It's not because he's a hottie with a body. Like, you know, like, what is it?
And he's kind of funky. Yeah.
He's kind of funky, but he's adorable in his own, like, sleepy-eyed way. But it was about the longing. That's what I came up with.
It's the but like, isn't that what makes all good art, is the longing?
That's what the whole essay's about.
Oh, well,
that's the novels I like.
Same.
That's what's in your story, the longing for something you can't get back.
And can't change too. Like and I think facing the fact that things are going to happen that you're not going to be okay with is also like, really, how do you react to that? How do you handle that? Like something,
and the unknowing, and how do you you can't fix it.
You can't fix it. And also I think a sub theme in my book is what grief brings out of people, and how grief can shape you into somebody that maybe isn't someone you like so much. You know, and that's hard. It's like
hard stuff.
Yes,
hard stuff.
Yes.
Hard stuff.
Looking away from it does us no good. Okay, now we're going to talk about the plot.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're going to start crying.
I could do this Billy Joel thing all day.
Yeah, really.
Our
episode.
I don't even know. I don't think I've ever asked you this. Do you plot, or were the twists revealed to you as you worked on the book?
I don't know that I'm allowed to answer that question, because if Carrie Farron was in the room, she'd like, she plots. She's supposed to plot.
Oh, that's funny.
I have a really hard time with
Carrie
plot.
Farron, by note, is her editor for everyone.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. She's also my literary mother. And that's just, I literally I'm like, I need to call corporate and get it approved. Like she is one of those, she's a general in my army, in real life and also in my work. And I told her, she's like, you know, at some point, I was in New York a couple weeks ago, and she's like, you know, at some point I'm going to retire. I was like, I don't think you're understanding me. I'm going to move you into a granny pod in my backyard, and we will never not work together.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But that is my weakness as a writer, is plot and structure. Like I could write about bigger picture, feelings, mood, dialogue, like descriptions and whatever. And then, but like something has to happen.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, what do you mean? They're having a good time. Like, no, there needs to be like actually like arcs. But I blame that on the fact that I went to school for theater and I didn't go to school for creative writing.
That. Yeah.
Well, I understand mood, setting, dialogue, because it's a script, you know, but a novel.
I don't plot like that either. So
great. Well, I hope to God I can.
That all comes in the editing.
Yeah, editing. And I had a writing coach with this book, which I still work with, who was actually Adri suggested that to me, and it changed my life because she teaches creative writing in a prep school, and she like would be like, Victoria, what is happening, like beginning, middle, end of this chapter? And I'm like, okay. So she gave me like the bullet points. And like, I mean, I came up with what was happening, but she made me come up with the bullet points, and then I'd fill it in. I'm like, well, is enough happening? Is this interesting? She'd think, yes, but you could amp this
That's
up.
amazing.
And there's too much talking here. And yeah. And then by the time Carrie got her hands on it, of course, pulled it apart and put it back together in her brilliance. But yeah, I'm learning how to write from an academic standpoint now, which I didn't approach my first novel that way at all.
Interesting.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I always say that, like, as long as you get to the destination, it doesn't matter what road you took. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Carrie would be like, no.
She'd be like, Ron, you're wrong.
Yeah. First,
this is how it goes.
Second, no. Okay.
Well, you get there anyway. So we love a good storytelling tool.
Yeah.
In Adri's last book, she came up with a rotating therapist, online therapist, which is great. In this one, you have included mahjong. It's so clever, and it's really a great part of the story and pulls a bunch of things together. Talk about bringing that in and how mahjong is in your life.
So I'm obsessed with mahjong. It came into my life, like literally, this is the craziest thing ever. I'm in a league now. Like I'm like hardcore. Like I play in a neighborhood group at least once a week. I just bought last weekend an aqua maj mat so I can float it in my pool and play in the pool.
Oh my God.
I'm serious. Like when I tell you obsessed, I'm playing a league tonight. I'm making a peach cobbler and bringing it. Like I'm literally like, it's the thing in the South. It's become like bridge of 2025. Wow. Everybody plays it. Ladies dress up. So I learned how to play it when I was writing this book at the Charleston Place. And I walk into this most elegant hotel. The Charleston Place is a incredible hotel in downtown Charleston.
Yes, it is.
And it's just went through this huge renovation. And one of the things they do are these events on site. And so they did this partnership with this company called Holy Maj, which is featured in my book. And I went to the class and everyone was dressed to the nines and had a cocktail, little snacks. And I was like, oh, I love the vibes. Like I was always into like, she's prissy. She's on trend. Like I love it. And like before I was like, you know, in athleisure with my kids and in the minivan and all this. Like one day a week, I got to like take off the sweatpants and like put on a dress and go to mahjong. And I met the most incredible friends. And so reconnected, like, cause I was talking about it on social media, reconnected with a college girlfriend of mine, who's now like one of my closest friends. We fell in friend love. She took me to play mahjong at a woman's house in the neighborhood. And I was like, I love your house. She goes, great. I'm getting divorced. It's going on the market next week. I was like, what? So now I live in her house.
Oh, gosh.
Across the street from my college best friend. We all get together and play mahjong. And we all like compound with our kids because all the kids go to school or they're in dance class.
Oh my gosh. Mahjong brought you into a community.
Literally like, and this woman, her name is Gabby, who I bought the house for. Her son is now my son's like bestie. And I'm like, what? Who knew this would happen? And it's a really good example, like in my book, when you're dealt with tragedy, like a divorce or something, you know, a curveball, how a lot of good and beauty can come out of that. Yep. So, but mahjong is the best. It's so fun. I play online. I play with robots. I play with my girlfriends we could play together. They do it like Zoom. Yeah.
I played yesterday for the first time since book tour.
Oh my God, let's play
bad.
Together. So
I
let's
start
play
talking
online.
to people, and then I don't call my tile. I got to play more. But
now I Siamese. I do all of it. Like I'm teaching my husband how to play, so we can play together.
I have never ever played.
Oh my God! Well, I'll bring my tiles to you, and we can play.
All right, we'll do it.
I love it.
Over a drink.
Yeah, at least one.
Okay, I could never drink and play mahjong.
Oh, that's
actually without a drink.
So I have to drink and play mahjong because that's the only time I get to win. So there's league happens at 10 a.m. or at 6. And I'm like, I don't want those caffeinated women at 10 a.m., man. I want to play with these girls who've had a few. And I'm like telling jokes like I do. Hilarious. And then I'm like, they'll be a little less good.
Here's my Maj card.
Oh, I love it. I have like hundreds of tiles. I should open up my thing. You should see. I've like collect the tiles, like other mahjong brands. Yeah, I have like 10 sets of tiles, which is insane.
Okay, we'll play when I see you next time.
Yeah.
All right, back to the book. So this is a sequel of sorts.
Of sorts.
Your last novel.
Yes.
Is there another one coming? Do you anticipate a series?
So I think like this book, which is it picks up for the last one left off, but it's a standalone book.
Mhm.
My third book
Definitely.
takes place in the universe, but it's a separate book. Like
Okay.
it's so, and I think I will always have winks of previous characters because as a reader, I always want to know the update of what's going on with those people. So like, and I don't know if Carrie's going to let me do this, so I'm going to say this, and then she's going to be like, nope. But the one of the characters that
Nice
my
try.
next. Right. We'll just throw it out there. My next book is 3 women instead of 2. It's a third book, which is funny how that happened. But anyway, she works as a pastry chef at the Magic Lantern. So it's and Maggie is going on maternity leave. So she's has a baby, she's married, which you find out in the third book, which is nice to know that everything worked out.
Yeah.
And then and that doesn't ruin the second book by finding that out because she's a very secondary third character because it's Violet's story. But anyway, so one of my main characters in my third book talks to Maggie in like one paragraph. So like you get to see her and see what's going on, but it's its own book and actually takes place halfway in Italy. So it's a little bit different than only being in Charleston.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Carrie is too. She wants pages by September.
I'm sure she does. You could do it. You could do it.
I'm gonna do it. Yep.
Okay. So anyway, I think we would be remiss if we don't talk about the food. Oh my God. I know you have a background in culinary. We've talked a lot about food and dishes and restaurants and stuff, but where did the dishes in the book come from? Were they your own recipes? And also I want to know if all those restaurants are real and can we line them up so when I visit, we get to go?
Yeah, hell yeah is the answer. We can totally go. I'm going to answer this backwards. Yes, they're all real restaurants. And they're all phenomenal, especially Vern's. Shout out to Vern's. That
Vern's chicken.
Like my soul leaves my body when I have, like, I tell everyone, I'm like, I'm coming for my chicken appointment. Like, that's what I call it to the restaurant. They're like, oh, I had a birthday there and we had like 8 chickens on the table, like everybody. And I'm like, it's finger sucking good, not licking. Like you want to get all of that jus. It is the most delicious, succulent, incredible layers of flavor. I always say you can judge a restaurant by its roasted chicken or its omelet. And I think that's so true. And if it's a good chicken, like it's so good you want to be left alone with it because like you don't want people to see sucking it off the bone being gross in Charleston.
Dripping all the grease.
Dripping all the grease. Recipes for mine, it's probably what I was just hungry for at the moment because I am the hungriest girl in America. Like I'm always hungry. So
That's nice. Well, I think like setting, you can describe food in a way that I think a lot of other people have a struggle with to get there. You just make it seem so delicious. And it's really part of the story because it's part of everybody's life. They always they all gather around food and stuff.
Yes.
So you bring it to life.
Thank you. I love food.
All right. You're in a very particular time in life. You have 2 young kids. I have been in the same spot myself, but with 3 kids, 3 kids under 5. So what inspires you or what keeps you inspired to continue writing during such a busy time in your life? What sends you back to the page again and again?
Bills.
Come on, it's more than that.
No, I think bills, but also I think writing to me is a lifeline. And the way that music are to singers, like no matter what, I'll always be a writer because it allows me to just be Victoria. I'm not mommy. I'm not Victoria Peluso. I'm not Victoria, daughter, sister, any wife. I'm Victoria. And it's me and my head and my heart and my guts. And I can just be there. And so I think what keeps me coming back to it is self-discovery because I learned so much about myself. And then I can be better at all those other roles it's like therapy. It is like therapy because it's this way of going through a different world, given a different deck of cards. And I think this is probably a selfish thing, but when my mom passed and I want to hear her voice, I read her books. And so what a gift to leave for my children because that's going to happen one day, and they're going to want to hear me, and maybe they'll learn. I learn lessons still from my mother through her work and rereading her work and understanding where she was in the time frame when she was writing that specific story. So I think that for me, like it's a legacy thing. I mean, it's such a gift, and also I love writing because I love that I get to help people through writing. Like there's a level of like, I can make you happy. And I think given trauma, like people are like, oh, she's so funny. Yes. Cause I've gone through a lot of pain in my life, and nothing makes me want to be funnier and make people laugh is that if you're suffering, like, let me lift that for you. So I'm writing these beach reads, and I give somebody 4 days of pleasure, and it gets them through breastfeeding their kids at 1 a.m. or being on a vacation with annoying relatives or a divorce or a breakup or whatever. And I give them
your companion.
Yes.
Companion.
And I get to be your favorite book. And I love it. It's such a privilege. So I love that. Yeah. I'm very grateful.
I love that too. I'm just sitting here nodding because you're telling truth. You're telling truth.
I try. Yeah. And I call it fiction.
No. Okay, Victoria, if you just stick around, we have a little bit more to talk to you about. But first, we have a few quick reminders for our listeners and viewers out there.
All right, everyone. We encourage you to rush out right this very second and buy your copies of The Violet Hour. Why wouldn't you, after hearing us talk about it? And the perfect place to do that is on the Friends and Fiction bookshop.org page. Not only do you get the book at a bit of a discount, but all of your purchases there support our show, our guests, and indie bookstores nationwide, which is why we started this show in the first place.
Right. And don't forget to visit friendsandfiction.com for details on our show schedule, upcoming in-person events, and links to our merch store, our Substack newsletter sign up, and the award-winning Friends and Fiction official book club with Brenda and Lisa. Speaking of the book club, join them live on Monday, August 18th at 7 p.m. for a discussion of Confessions of a Grammar Queen with author Eliza Knight.
Everybody is loving that book. And also, if you go on our website, you'll hear more about the Friends and Fiction live. In person, they're all getting together. Sadly, I can't be there, but Ron will be there. And Brenda and Lisa and Mary Kay. And is, what's the date, Ron?
It's August 8th through the 11th.
And that's in Atlanta. All right. I want to talk about our Substack for a minute. It is our newsletter. And if anyone has never visited Substack, you don't need to, because you can just get them directly in your inbox. We also have a paid Substack or a paid newsletter, which is just $5 a month, which is less than $1 a day, which is less than the latte I had this morning from Santos. So inside this newsletter, you have incredible access to things you don't even on our website. Deeper dives with our weekly show guests like Victoria, monthly roundtable discussions. Meg just did one with 10 crime fiction authors.
This is awesome.
So if you enjoy tuning in for our weekly author interviews, this is a big way that you can support our show.
Friends and Fiction has also recently partnered up with Talitha Coffee, a woman survivor-founded company based in California. With a deep passion for combating human trafficking, Talitha's co-founder, Jenny Barber, was determined to make a difference after witnessing the devastating intergenerational impact of the issue from a young age. Every time you buy Talitha Coffee, you help change lives through hiring, training, and comprehensive support for survivors of sex trafficking. Join us in making a difference one cup at a time. To mail order Talitha's ethically sourced, intentionally roasted coffee, visit www.talitha.com/friends and fiction.
All right, Victoria, back to you, my friend. I know that without our beloved Dottie, you have found some incredible mentors along the way. And you, including our dear Adriana. So tell us what these people mean to you during this time of your life.
Oh, that's a weighted. I don't know how to answer that without the waterproof mascara.
I know. I waited until the end, my friend.
Well, you're one of them.
Oh.
You know, you're one of my angels. I mean, it's true. Like I literally, I was going to put these on. I have Patti glasses.
Oh, look at us.
I like to think that I have all of y'all with me when I'm doing things. You know, the strength and the vulnerability that you show in your work guides me to challenge myself to do those things too. And Adri is she's my sister. She's my best friend. I mean, she has gone from being like someone who reminded me of my mom. And so I would reach out to her just because she made me feel good and she makes me feel confident, to someone who was like, I'll call her and she'll be like, that's some, you know, she'll show up for me like the Italian is activated, like she's going to get in there. And she fights for me and she's a warrior for me. And I think I
love that.
Yeah. And like women need that. People need that. We all need champions, right? So Adria is not just my friend, she's my champion. Yeah. And I try to do that for her. I flew up to New York and I was at her last event and it was like staring into the sun. She is just so good.
Oh, I went to her book launch in New York when I was up there for GMA.
You went to the night, I was in the morning.
Yeah. I didn't know you were in town. We could have gotten together.
I know. No, I know. We missed each other's ships in the night, but I was there and I saw that you were there at night. I was like, God.
Anyway, it's like, you're right. Staring into the sun. Like I'm an hour into her talking. I'm like, what's the book about?
I don't even know. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I'm doing an event with her next week. She's so generous to do this. It's In Conversation With here in Charleston. And I just like really feel like she's just, I got the chance, you know, Mary Kay is another one who I think I really respect. She was here in Charleston last year promoting her Bright Lights, Big Christmas. I think that's the name of the book. If I say that wrong, I'm sorry.
No, that's right.
And Polly Buxton, who's another love of my life mentor who owns Buxton Books. She was like, hey, I'm caught on a plane. Could you come to this event and interview her? And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? So I like got my, you know, SHIT together and like ran downtown, threw some lipstick on and sat with her. And she was so cool. Yeah. Like, and it's just, and even, I mean, Mary Alice, another one, like if I sit with these women, with y'all and talk to you about story writing, it, like I said in the beginning, it's like a coven. We're all in it together.
We're in it together. I always say if someone starts punching holes in the boat, we're all going down. So let's just sail this ship together, baby.
Kristin Harmel met me in Disney. We were in Animal Kingdom together with our kids. And I'm like, it's so freaking amazing. And it's as good as it looks. Like everyone's like, are they really that nice? I'm like, they're better. They're better.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, Kristy is like, she's like my twin sister. Now we share Carrie.
So now you share Carrie.
Right. She's in North Carolina. I'm South Carolina, you know, and then there's so many other writers out there too, that are lovely to me and encourage me. Ellen is another one. And Patchett is another one. I mean, I'm like lucky. I'm lucky.
It's delightful. I'm very delighted for you. I had Adri here last week and we were on stage together and I'm telling you, the love
she told me
everybody coming was just incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. She
told me how much she enjoyed time with you too. I mean, she was like, I was with Ron. Are you going there? I was like, of course I'm going there. Do you remember our event? Like,
which is our next question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Where can we catch up with you on the road and tell people how to connect with you online?
Instagram is the best way to find me. I'm very active on Instagram. I have a website, but it's very corporate. But Facebook, Instagram, but mostly Instagram. I do cross post on Facebook, but I don't have the energy for both. So I just focus on Instagram. And my tour is up there. I'm going all over the place. It's 2 weeks solid, the first week of school. So that's a little exciting.
Oh, that's a challenge.
So thank you, Carmine, for staying home. You wonderful, wonderful man, and taking care of that. But yes, I'm going on the road. I kick off in Charleston. I'm going all over the place. I wish more cities. Hopefully next book, I'll get to go a little bit wider, but I'm going, you know, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. I'm going to see you. I'm going up to Rehoboth Beach for the first time, which was
you'll love it.
I love that. Well, yeah, I love that one. I'm really excited to visit Quail Ridge. I love that stop in North Carolina and Raleigh. There's so many that I'm looking forward to, but I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody because it's like seeing old friends every time I go on tour.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And all of your fans will be there to greet you.
Yes, I hope.
So, Victoria, thank you so much for joining us. As you know, we love you to death. And
my pleasure.
It's just so much fun always to talk to you. So as a guest of the Friends in Fiction show, we bow to you. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. Be sure to tune in next week when Mary Kay, Kristy, Kristin, and I will be together live to welcome Francesca Saratella to discuss her new novel, Our Friends in Fiction, August Pick of the Month, Full Bloom. That show will air on the Facebook page on the 20th of August and then on the podcast on the 22nd.
That's right. Well, thanks to all of you out there for being with us. We will see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in. You can join us every week on Facebook or YouTube, where our live show airs on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Instagram. We're so glad you're here.